Hello and welcome to the next video of my LPL 2024 preview series. We're going to cover Ultra Prime. Yes, the board looks pretty barren. That is indicative of how many players played games in 2023 during the LPL season, LDL, LCK. Yeah, they have a lot of people that didn't play any games last year. Ultra Prime is in a rough spot. The org is not great. Last 3 years, 7 and 25, 9 and 23, 8 and 24. So some quick math, that's 24 wins and 72, so 24 and 72 in the last 3 years. Rough, to say the least. They made a lot of changes this past offseason. We can't say they didn't try and change things up. So Harry goes to anyone's legend from top lane. Ning goes back to retirement, I guess. Dream and Forge leave mid. Sword Art goes back to the PCS. And then they choose to bring in Decade from LGD. Hacker returns from FPX. Yukai joins from LNG. And Jue joins from BLG's LDL squad. So a lot of moves have been made. A lot of those players did not play games or played very, very seldomly. So in top lane, we have Decade. He played 17 games last year. I believe him and ZS are in fight for the job, to say the least. Age unknown. In 17 games, he struggled. 1.5 KDA is pretty bad. 8.3 CS per minute and a 43 KP. So he wasn't involved, and if he was, he died. Or he died before any kills transpired for his team. 21.3 gold share, 447 damage per minute, which was 23.5% of damage. 8 champions played. Jax, K'Sante, and Gwen accounted for 53% of those games. So played more champions than Clear did. We just went over his. I just did Fear X, that recording just a few minutes ago. But Clear, in the same amount of games, didn't die nearly as much, still had the farm, still was involved in things like that. Like, this stat line is pretty rough. But then you compare it to ZS, 21 years old. I'm not putting the 3 Demacia Cup games that just occurred right now on there. I would prefer to avoid putting those games on there. He played a bit last year in 2022. I don't include stats from last year in these videos, trying to really show just how out of the box a move might be. You're bringing in a player that literally did not play last year. Stats are not available for ZS outside of the Demacia Cup 3 games he played. So it's a battle for the spot, I guess. In the jungle, you have Hacker at 25 years old, 63 games with FPX. He's a facilitator, 3 KDA, 5.4 CS per minute, and a 75 KP. So he was the one involved on FPX's kills, 3 out of every 4. 18.5 gold share, 296 damage per minute, which is 14.7% of damage. 10 champions played. Wukong, Sejuani, Vi, 71%. So really keyed in on those 3 champions. Tao is the backup. No games played. Age unknown. Hook was on the Nest team. He's not on the roster anymore. So that's what they have right now in the jungle. Yukai, 21 years old, LNG substitute last year, who did not play a single game because LNG had Scout. LNG were really good, so why would they make a change? Yukai played with IG the year prior. Wide champion pool, left a little bit to be desired, but then again was very young. I think he was one of those players that I would say, hey, let's bring this champion pool down a peg and start keying in on a few, several champions that you could build around, build a foundation of good champs, and then start sprinkling in other things. He can do a lot of different things because of all his champions. But compared to all the Dream, Forge, and Ching last year that they had in mid lane for Ultra Prime, Yukai is pretty much in the same spot. 0909. 20 years old, played 27 games in the LDL last year and looked really good. Frankly, I think that's another position battle. 3.1 KDA, 8.9 CS per minute, 68.2 KP, 23 gold share, 616 damage per minute, 9 champions played. Wouldn't shock me at all if he ended up playing over UK. He did play a little bit for OMG in 2022. The only player that's pretty solid on this team is Doggo. 21 years old, came onto the scene with the I think it was PSG Talent, at a very young age, and then went to the LPL. And I mean, he deserved better with BLG in 2022. Oh, almost sneezed. But last year, not as great with Ultra Prime. Obviously, like I said, Ultra Prime is not a great org. Elk struggled in 2022 in the same spot. We saw how well he did with BLG. So frankly, maybe that's all Doggo really needs, is let just suffer for another year and then go find greener pastures. 75 games, 2.5 KDA, 9.3 CS per minute, 66 KP, 24.5 gold share, 548 damage per minute, 27.3% of damage, 15 champions played. Aphelios, Zeri, Zaya, 55%. Like I said, he's better than these stats indicate. He was screwed alongside Sword Art and I think Baolan in spring. Did Ning and Baolan both play for Ultra Prime in spring? Baolan ended up playing for Rare Atom, but I don't know if he played for Rare Atom in spring. Don't recall. Regardless, it doesn't matter. All these teams stink, and Doggo is a bright spot on an otherwise pretty bad roster. About 18 years old, a Korean import, no games to be had. So, I would say he played for EDG last year, but EDG just held his rights. Jue, 21 years old. I think he played with Doggo in BLG's LDL squad last year when the tire fire occurred and there were roster changing and things like that. He did play a couple years ago. I think those stats should kind of be just washed down the toilet. I didn't even really look at them outside of the fact that he played 21 games, which frankly could have erased his rookie status, depending on how many games his team played that split. But regardless, very young player then. I would almost give him a clean slate now. 68 games, 74.3 KP, 164 damage per minute, 15 champions played. Nautilus, Rakan, Alistar, 44% of those games. So facilitator, playmaker. Alongside Doggo, this should be a fun bot lane. Rosie Love is Ultra Prime's LDL support. Played a lot of damage-oriented supports. Ashe, Heimer, things like that. 81 games, 75 KP, 251 DPM. Like I said, a lot of damage out of Rosie Love in the LDL. 21 champions played. So will he push? I mean, frankly, every person on this team outside of Doggo, who knows? Hacker probably won't lose his job. I mean, I doubt it. But mid lane, top lane, support, who knows? Xiaobei is the coach, 25 and 23 over his career, as accredited on Leaguepedia. Was with RNG before joining Ultra Prime. Excuse me. So, I mean, this roster here is, I thought LGD's was worse. This might be worse than LGD's. Yeah, it very well might be. So, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.